bad too.
I just paid $4 for Star Wars branded water and I love it.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. I mean, and blue milk, $9. Totally worth it. It was really good.
I have some Coke and some Coke Zero in the bag as well.
This outpost is nothing but smugglers, thieves, and pirates. It appears you've misplaced your loyalty. Find it.
They're very loyal. They're the most loyal.
I am well aware.
Alright, my bad.
We know what you're doing. You help the resistance, then? I didn't know the prophets. What? The First Order will never know where they are. Okay, time to go, so,
You said you deployed patrol units, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
I ask because I didn't see them. I want stormtroopers crawling this outpost. Until we have what we need, no one rests. You don't rest. Understood?
Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. As you guys probably know, last week I came back from EA Play on my trip to LA, and one of the things I got the opportunity to do there was visit Galaxy's Edge. A lot of you have been asking for my opinion on Galaxy's Edge and if I recommend a Star Wars fan going there, simply put. So I wanted to share my opinion and experience after being there for 4 hours. Well, during my trip to LA. First of all, I did get invited to Disneyland by EA, so I didn't have to buy any tickets myself, so keep that into consideration. But in terms of the actual Galaxy's Edge session, we were actually not supposed to be going there, but then Asatru luckily managed to get a reservation, which allowed him to bring 5 people with him, so that's how we got in there. So as far as I understand, there's not actually any extra cost to go to Galaxy's Edge if you already have Disneyland tickets, but you simply gotta score the actual reservation for Galaxy's Edge, as you've got a 4-hour window there where you can spend time. So that's one of the first things I noticed, that it wasn't actually that crowded at Galaxy's Edge. Due to the reservations and the fact that they limited the amount of people there was a lot less people in Galaxy's Edge than the rest of the park, where it felt really crowded once you got out of Galaxy's Edge. So I think that really added a lot of value to the actual experience, and I had kind of expected it to be just crowded with people and way too many lines and everything, but luckily that wasn't the case. I also want to give a big shout out to Cinematic Captures, who made a fantastic video of Galaxy's Edge, whose footage you will be seeing a bit of in the background. I've got some GoPro footage, as I didn't actually think we were going there, so I didn't bring my other camera, but oh well, I've got some GoPro footage to show you, but the more high quality footage you will be seeing is from Cinematic Captures, as he brought his his 4K camera there and got some really good shots of us being there. So I went there with 5 other game changers as well as a group of developers, and we did the various things you can do there. Obviously there are still some lines and reservations, so we couldn't do everything. For instance, the cantina was fully booked the entire day, so we didn't get to visit that. And there's also a place where you can make your own droids, and it was too much of a line to get in there, so we didn't get to do that. But we did, however, get to build our own lightsabers, which I think was probably my highlight of the experience, as you get to first of all pick which hilt you want out of 4, and then within those 4 hilts you get to pick a bunch of various parts, which means that most people got their own unique lightsaber, including choosing which Kyber crystal you wanted, which obviously made your lightsaber light up in different colors. And you can also buy different Kyber crystals, so you can swap those out afterwards if you want to have a lightsaber of different colors. It was $200 to make the lightsaber, and I honestly really thought that was worth it. I know if you buy like a really high quality lightsaber, it will cost somewhere around that, so getting to make one of my own with a metal hilt and choosing my color and everything was definitely worth it in my opinion. I didn't think I would say that beforehand, but in hindsight $200 was definitely worth that experience. And then we also got to do Smuggler's Run, where 5 or 6 of us get to be in different positions in the Millennium Falcon and do a Smuggler's Run with Hondo, which was really cool. I was the right pilot, and I thought it was a really cool experience. But in terms of the actual controls or interaction, I'm not sure how much I was actually able to do. Like, I was the one who was supposed to be pulling us up and down, and then the left pilot went left and right. But I didn't really feel like whenever I pulled the lever, nothing really happened. So we were crashing into asteroids, and I was like, I'm trying, but nothing's happening when I'm pulling this lever. So in terms of the actual interaction, I wasn't too impressed. It was more just about the feeling of sitting there in the Falcon, and it's kind of moving around depending on how you're flying, and it was a really epic experience. It was more, not so much about the interaction, but just more about sitting in the cockpit and going through that mission. However, pushing that light speed lever forward and going into light speed was one of my favorite moments probably. So although the actual controls felt a bit iffy, pulling that lever and going into light speed was an amazing experience, and I think cinematic captures managed to capture me pretty nicely here when I did that. As for the overall feeling of Galaxy's Edge, I really gotta say that they nailed the Star Wars feeling, and something that I've noticed coming out of like Star Wars Celebration, you were so used to seeing people dressed up as Star Wars characters all the time that it was no longer any special, and that's how it initially felt when you got into Galaxy's Edge. But then when you start to realize that there's only one Chewbacca, there's only one Kylo Ren here, it suddenly became special because they all had the proper voices, and there wasn't just 1,000 people with everything from really bad to really good costumes, but there was just one out of each character, and that definitely made everything more special, especially when they walked around, they interacted with people who were there, as you can see with Kylo Ren right here. And since everything was set in like one time span in the sequel era trilogy, it truly made it feel like you just came into Batuu and you were on a Star Wars planet, well, sometime in the Star Wars timeline. So I think they did a fantastic job on that, and overall I was really happy with the experience. I guess food wise I didn't try that much, but I tried like some drink, and I tried some type of wrap. That was pretty bad, to be honest. I would not recommend that. The blue milk, however, was really good. That was extremely refreshing since it was really hot there that day. Better than I expected, but the food, or the Ronto wrap, I think it was called, was pretty rubbish, to be honest, as well as the really sweet drinks they had. But we never went to any of the restaurants that are like the Cantina or the Full Out restaurant. So I don't know how the food was there. But other than that, that was really the main things we did. Check out the shops, just kind of walk around, experience the area, and the two events we did was of course Smuggler's Run and the Lightsaber building, but there's also the Cantina, the droid building. I don't know exactly what it's called, but where you can build your own droid. So there's plenty of stuff to do, but some of them you need a reservation or you need to like queue up and get a time slot. But luckily a lot of the time was not spent in a line, because for Smuggler's Run it was a very short line. I think it took like 10 minutes, and for the Lightsaber building we basically stood in line for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then we got a time slot to come back to 2 hours later, and when we did that you didn't have to stand in line, you just came there for your slot and you did the Lightsaber building. So I hope they're gonna keep it this way, and they're not gonna just let everyone walk into Galaxy's Edge all the time, because it's just gonna be completely flooded in that case. As much as reservations might make it harder to get in there, it made a really nice experience as it wasn't completely cluttered, basically. But I think that's all the impressions I really had of Galaxy's Edge, and if you have any questions about something that I could potentially have missed, feel free to leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer as many of them as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.